PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Of all the Americans I've met, I think African Americans have got to be the coolest race of them all. Alright? Sorry. They're the coolest. Everything they do is just cooler. Everything they touch is just smoother, right? Sports, science, music, presidencies, right? Everything they do. They got the swag. Black people have the swag. You cannot deny the swag. Black people have the swag. Even white supremacists are like, yeah, they have swag. It's like undeniable coolness. Like, black people are so cool, they can own their own racial slur. Okay? That's how cool they are. No other minority in America is cool enough to own their own slur.
Why does racism only go one way? That's what I want to know. I see racism against whites every day, every single day, yet I'm a racist for pointing that out?
Adrian, what's your take?
Take on what?
What Chuck just said. Is racism just a one-way street?
I think that's his opinion.
Look at your firm, Adrian. You get the benefit of no bid contracts because you're an African-American firm. Now, as a white lawyer, what am I supposed to think of that?
I don't know.
I think Chuck is pointing out a double standard here, Adrian. Take hip-hop. We've talked about this on the show before. You have African-American rappers saying N-word this and N-word that, but a Caucasian can't.
So say it.
Say what?
Say the word you want to say.
I'm not saying that I want to say it. I'm just saying that I can't.
Sure you can. Say it. Say it right now. I will say it with you.
Okay, this is hypocritical. You know we can't.
Sure you can. This is America.
All right, you never see Chinese people walking around just going, hey, yo, my chinks. Yo, where my chinks at? Yo, holler at me, chinks. Yeah, my chinks. Hey, stay yellow, my fellows. What? Like, black people are so cool, they can own their own racial slur. Okay? That's how cool they are. No other minority in America is cool enough to own their own slur.
He said, why are black people so controlled by a word?
Why are racists so controlled by a color? Perhaps they are new to this here planet, but words mean things. Welcome to the concept of language. I can't believe this has to be explained to anyone over the age of 5, that words are used to communicate messages, stories, form civilizations and societies. Wars have been started because of an exchange of words. God sends people to hell over words, not their pigment, their words. So by their logic, God, I guess, is chimping out too. This is why he said in Proverbs, there is power in the tongue, and the tongue has the power of life and death. God cast Lucifer out of heaven because of his words, when he too practiced the sin of supremacy. James says the same mouth people use to praise God is often used to curse human beings made in God's image. I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. This is how important even God views words. So I guess God is controlled by words too. Why do black people have a reaction to violent language? Oh, I don't know. Because they're human. The same way a bigot's mother would have a reaction to a complete stranger approaching them on the street and calling them a cunt. The same way an Asian or a Latino would have a reaction to derogatory slurs about their ethnic group. The same way your boss would have a reaction if you called them something disgusting and vile, or your mother or your pastor. They are human beings. Words mean things, boys and girls.
PushGapRadio.com, bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
Words have meaning, boys and girls. PushGapRadio.com in Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth. Welcome back to another edition of Rubber Buggy Baby Boomer Radio on the bangingest thing on your urban internet radio dial. Today, for those who are well informed, we're going to delve into Dr. Rhea Hill, who's based here in beautiful Dallas, Texas, on a TikTok video where she responds to a white woman asking, why do black folk get so upset about the use of the N-word? And made her stupid ass comment that it's just a word. And Dr. Rhea tore her ass apart. Again, in a response to the phrase words have meaning, Dr. Rhea Hill took to TikTok to unpack the profound psychological and systemic weight behind the vocabulary that we choose. She emphasized that language is never neutral. Rather, it serves as a structural framework that shapes our individual perceptions, relationships, and societal norms. Yeah, I ain't gonna even hold you. Back in the Gap, we did a show pertaining to the N-word. We're gonna mix it in as we go along. Now, here's our little clip before we get to Dr. Hill on the N-word on PushGapRadios.com. Rotate. The N-word was tossed about casually in movies well into the 20th century. Part of a way of life, but sometimes to raise consciousness. During the civil rights era, the stigma came to a head. In the 1970s, emerged a willingness to explore the impact of the word and even to satirize it.
If you two ever really started going at one another, inside of 5 minutes, he'd be calling you, don't say it, nigga. He said it.
It hardly disappeared in the 80s and 90s, more so through rap music. Although whites rarely said it, blacks did and said it a lot. All the time. Just nigga, 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 nigga. We also used it in our movies and in comedy shows. That's Chris Rock. That's my favorite saying right there. I love black people, but I hate niggas. Okay. The moment Chris Rock said that, I understood totally what he was saying. By dissecting specific terminology used in the original video, Dr. Hill highlights Dr. Rhea highlights how subtle shifts in phrasing can either validate someone's lived experience or covertly reinforce harmful bias and power dynamics. Now, a little bit about Dr. Hill. Dr. Rhea Hill is a licensed professional counselor, an LPC, and a doctor of behavioral health. Based here in beautiful Dallas, Texas, she operates a private practice centered around holistic, whole-person care, drawing from over a decade of experience in the mental health field. Dr. Hill specializes in addressing anxiety, depression, trauma, stress management, and women's issues with past professional experience spanning domestic violence advocacy and school counseling. She leverages digital platforms like TikTok, and she frequently translates complex behavioral and psychological concepts into accessible social commentary. I ain't gonna hold you. We finna jump straight into the game. Here's Dr. Rhea Hill from Dallas, Texas. PushGapRadio.com. Dr. Rhea Hill. It's Dallas, baby. Rotate.
Why do black people have a reaction to violent language? Oh, I don't know. Because they're human. The same way a bigot's mother would have a reaction to a complete stranger approaching them on the street and calling them a cunt. The same way an Asian or a Latino would have a reaction to derogatory slurs about their ethnic group. The same way your boss would have a reaction if you called them something disgusting and vile, or your mother or your pastor. They are human beings. Words mean things, boys and girls. If that wasn't the case, why cry over a woman's false allegation against you? If Sarah decided to tell the police that Connor forced himself on her and it wasn't true, I'm guessing they wouldn't have an issue with it because words don't mean things. Or do they suddenly matter in this instance?
Well, I think those say a false allegation is against the law.
What's a law? A collection of words. Right. The society agrees, carries authority and consequences. If words were meaningless, then laws would be meaningless. Contracts would be meaningless. Wedding vows would be meaningless. Threats, defamation, false accusations would be meaningless. But nobody lives like words are meaningless. The same people who say it's just a word suddenly understand language perfectly when the words affect them.
Now, you know, folk always beating black folk down, but the best interpretation how gangster we as black folk is was said by Cedric the Entertainer in a movie called Be Cool. Finna run that, and then we finna run the phenomenal Dr. Rhea Hill one more time. PushGapRadios.com. Dr. Rhea Hill. It's the bangingest combination in the urban internet radio game. Be cool, nigga. Roll tape. Now, when it comes to white folk, first thing they want to know is, how come I can't use the word? Well, you can't. Why would you want to? Okay. And then furthermore, why don't white people understand, or let's say this, why don't people of other cultures understand what we as black folk have brought to the game? The best example of what black people have done for America to me was said by Cedric the Entertainer in a movie he did years ago called Be Cool.
He said, why are black people so controlled by a word?
Why are racists so controlled by a color? Perhaps they are new to this here planet, but words mean things. Welcome to the concept of language. I can't believe this has to be explained to anyone over the age of 5, that words are used to communicate messages, stories, form civilizations and societies. Wars have been started because of an exchange of words. God sends people to hell over words, not their pigment, their words. So by their logic, God, I guess, is chimping out too. This is why he said in Proverbs, there is power in the tongue, and the tongue has the power of life and death. God cast Lucifer out of heaven because of his words, when he too practiced the sin of supremacy. James says the same mouth people use to praise God is often used to curse human beings made in God's image. I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give account for every careless word they speak. This is how important even God views words. So I guess God is controlled by words too.
Yeah, even God got his own book full of words. Words mean things, man. But do you ever let the word nigga bother you? Okay, I used to until I heard the beautiful comedian some more. If I can't say the word nigga, how do I explain nigga shit? Here's some more, baby. Push Gap Radios, Dallas. But if it was said to you, do you have an obligation to address it? If you were out somewhere and a white person calls you nigga, are you obligated to knock the crap out of them? Is that like unwritten black code? That if a white person says it's in public, somebody needs to step up and punch him in the face? To a degree, I do. But then to another degree, if that's all you got. You know what changed my mind about that? The comedian some more. Okay. Some more made a comment about if we took away the N-word, how would she explain nigga shit? But if that's all you got, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let some more tell you. Here's some more.
I'm telling you, all over the word nigga. Now let me just explain to you how I feel about the word nigga. First of all, is that the best you can do to hurt my feelings is by calling me a nigga? Come on. That's right. Personally, I'm more offended when you don't give me a good interest rate on my money, to tell you the truth. Then they sent an email around, they was like, well, they want all the comedians to stop saying the word nigga. And I'm thinking, it's not a word that I use often, but this is a country where we have freedom of speech. Then I said, well, if I stop saying the word nigga, how am I going to describe nigga shit? Yeah, because we do some nigga shit. And you want to know what's some nigga shit? When you work 40 hours a week, you get your check and walk past every bank in the city and go to a check cashing place and give them up for 3% of your money because you ain't got a damn bank account. Oh, that's some nigga shit. Oh, that's nigga shit. What's some more nigga shit? When all your kids don't know each other. Oh, that's nigga shit.
Yeah. Is that all you got to call me is nigga? I want a better interest rate on my money. Now, here's Dr. Rhea Hill again, explaining why them folk is so stuck on a color. I used to be in the rap game many moons ago, and one of my rap lines was this: nigga's not a color, baby, nigga's just an attitude. Here's Dr. Rhea Hill to break it down. Roll tape.
These same people are so controlled by a color to the point where they would write a 180-page manifesto filled with words about a stranger's color. So controlled by color, they would drive 200 miles across state lines to shoot up a Tops grocery store or a church because they didn't like the strangers inside's color. So controlled by pigment, they would go on a stream and talk about it all day. Organize their day and dedicate their life to harassing strangers because of their pigment. A color occupies every chamber of their mind, planning harm against strangers because of this color. So controlled by color, they would kill over it. So controlled by color, they would damn their souls to hell over it. So controlled by color, they would lie, steal, antagonize complete strangers because of it. Throw away their morality, their Christianity, their entire soul, damning it into the lake of fire, forever consumed by hatred every single day, creating hate groups like the KKK, redlining, segregation, slavery, bastardizing their own Bible, and defying their own God because of a color. All because they are controlled by a color, a slave to their own hatred because a color has so much power over them. And no matter how much you pray for them, they don't want to be free. It's just a word, people, who determine that strangers aren't worth basic human decency because of hue.
Now, for those of you who don't understand why you cannot use the word, here is Donovan Sharp breaking down the N-word for those of you who think words don't mean shit until they affect you. Here's Donovan Sharp. We decide in America what's hot. And to them, the N-word is hot as fish grease because we use it so much. My nigga, that nigga, yo nigga, what's up, my nigga? Man, this nigga. To them, it's cool. They want to say it too. But here's the white boy to explain to you why you can't use the word.
Actually, let me start it off like this, right? One of the age-old questions these days, and I still can't believe people ask this, is why can't white people use the N-word? As obvious as this seems, yeah, I did, listen, man, I'm trying to get views, I'm trying to get clicks, I'm trying to get subscribers and all that, but why can't white people use the N-word around black people when black people use it when talking to each other all the time? Like, I've heard white people say, well, if they call themselves niggas, why does it bother them if we want to? Before I give you guys the definitive reason as to why white people should not use the N-word around black people, let me start by saying that white people can say whatever they want around whomever they want. If they want to use the N-word around black people, they are well within their constitutional rights to do so. Their right to use whatever language they want around whoever they want is protected by the First Amendment. You can say the N-word around black people if you want to, but I would strongly advise against it for obvious reasons, and I think that you guys will co-sign on that as well. Now that leads me to the main question, which is why can't white people use the N-word around black people without getting the beat out of them or being verbally and sometimes physically accosted? And the answer to this is one word and one word only, and that word is relationship. I'll give you another example. Family, which of course is a relationship. Guys, I love my family very much. Okay, I talk about them all the time. We as a family, we talk about each other to each other all the time. I've talked about my brothers and my sisters to my mom. My sisters have talked about me. They've talked about me to my brothers. My brothers have talked about our dad to me, and so on and so forth. We call each other names. We argue. We yell at each other. We're as dysfunctional as any other normal red-blooded American family out there. And in the end, we all love each other. But let somebody who isn't in our family talk about me. Let someone from the outside talk about my parents or my brothers or my sisters. Now we got a problem. Why? Relationship. The black experience is what gives us a common thread. Mm-hmm. So white person uses the N-word around a black person, it's like somebody talking about my family. White people will never know what it's like to be black in America. They have no relationship with us in that regard. And that's the reason they can't use the N-word around us without getting their asses kicked.
Yeah. You want to use the word because we've made it cool like we've made every damn thing cool in this country? Yeah, to a white supremacist, the color of a man's skin is their addiction, and the word nigga is their daily bread. Here's the phenomenal Dr. Rhea Hill on pushgapradios.com. Rotate.
Who determined that strangers aren't worth basic human decency because of hue, who have to be explained in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, that words have definitions, who willingly sin against God because their hatred of your color is worth their soul. Imagine being so controlled by a color, made so undone by a stranger's hue, that you surrender your time, freedom, your future, your soul, your one life because of it. Grocery store shoppers and churchgoers you will kill because of it. It's just a word, yet these people organize their entire day around deploying it. Foaming at the mouth like a rabid dog at the thought of barking that word to a random stranger because that word clearly means so much to them. So they don't think it's just a word. A color is their addiction and that slur is their daily bread. What would they do without it?
Yeah, what Chris Rock tell you? I love black people, but I hate niggas. My boy Billy Bad one time said that when he worked in a call center, that someone called him that, then he start calling them that. I've heard other people say that when a white person call them that, they'll start calling them nigga. And they say they found out psychologically, that they believe, that it takes the power, the punch out of the word, because that's all they got. What some more said, nigga, that's all you got? Is to call me a nigga? I'd rather get a better interest rate on my money. Again, here's a short segment of our show that we did some years ago dealing with the power of the N-word. Road tape on Push Gap, nigga. They want to use the word because we made the word cool, fam. We're the only ones who own our slur. You don't hear other music and whatnot doing that. I covered black music on last week's show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. To those of you who got us from 6 subs to 13, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, my nigga. I appreciate it. I love you, mine. That's our word. And when white people call you that word, instead of getting upset from here on, start calling them that too. That deletes its power. Because after you have called him that, what other weapons does he have in his arsenal? Nigga was it. Nigga was to provoke something. Quit being provoked. Do what you told, nigga. Nigga, you don't tell me what to do, nigga. I'm back here running this. Nah, nigga, what do you want? So when he says nigga again, how much more power is in that? Not a lot. When he gets done talking, it's your turn. You turn to your homeboy, man, this nigga over here tripping, mine. I told the nigga we didn't have that, mine. Wooda, wooda, wooda. The white boy starts to look bewildered. His power is gone. Psychology, people. Stop getting triggered by the word. The moment a white person calls you a nigga, start calling them that. The moment an Asian starts calling you a nigga, start calling them that. The moment a Saudi Arabian starts calling you nigga, start calling them that. The minute a Hispanic calls you a nigga, start calling them that. Like the 60 minutes tick down. There is no power to the word. There's just no power. They want to use the word because we made the word cool, fam. We're the only ones who own our slur.
Like, black people are so cool, they can own their own racial slur. Okay? That's how cool they are. No other minority in America is cool enough to own their own slur.
So when he says nigga again, how much more power is in that? Not a lot. When he gets done talking, it's your turn. You turn to your homeboy, man, this nigga over here tripping, man. I told the nigga we didn't have that, man. Wooda, wooda, wooda. The white boy starts to look bewildered. His power is gone. Psychology, people. Stop getting triggered by the word. The moment a white person calls you a nigga, start calling them that. The moment an Asian starts calling you a nigga, start calling them that. The moment a Saudi Arabian starts calling you nigga, start calling them that. The minute a Hispanic calls you a nigga, start calling them that. There is no power to the word. There's just no power. Yeah, nigga, some other race start calling you that. You start calling it back to them, man. Let us know what you think. Please put down in the comment. We're trying to get our subs up. We've been stuck at 5,400 for a minute, but been going through some life changes. Some great things have taken place, and we are back on the air again. I don't care if I don't have 100,000 subs. The 5,400 subs that listen to me, I am here for you. But leave a comment. What do you think? Tell us some of your experiences. I remember driving limousines. The limousine broke down, and I had this girl who was babysitting for these folk over in Highland Park, which is the she-poo-poo section of Dallas. And when I was talking on the phone for them to send another limousine, it was raining outside. We were in a bookstore, and the little kid, 5 years old, pulled on my coat. I turned around. He said, "Are we going to have a white driver?" Oh, man, I about lost my mind. I got back on the phone to Tammy, the dispatch. I said, yeah, the little kid, I was loud as hell. The little kid wants a white driver. She said, well, Mark is coming. That's what dispatch told me. I said, cool, because he drives a white limo as well. I looked at the little boy. You want a white card too? The babysitter about lost her freaking mind. She came over there and snatched him up. I said that to say this, nigga. It's learned. It's learned. Put down in the comments what you think. We'd love to hear from you, mine. Devastating, titillating, definitely invigorating. Not like I'm insinuating that. I think we stimulating. Reason that we get good ratings because we don't be perpetrating. All we got to do is touch a microphone. Shock a forward one in the main event on the bangingest thing on your urban internet radio dial. Again, drop a comment, drop a like. Help us move that algorithm, and please, please, please help us get to 6,000 subs. Shout out to Dr. Rhea Hillmine. Check her out. Look her up. Find out more about her. Sometime, just sometime, you have to do a little work. Do a little research yourself. PushGapRadios.com. Dallas, baby. And we're out.
PushGapRadio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.
PushGapRadio.com, Hamilton Park, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Check it out.
LeBron James' days are numbered. I don't want him to die. You got people that, the bishop wants him. I don't want him to die. But when you make a deal with the devil, when you make a deal. Now, with Bronny having his heart situation, that was a warning shot over the bow. It was a warning. We could have killed him. That's why LeBron, I'm going to say it to him again, LeBron, your days are numbered. You need Christ, because Christ is the only one, the only person that can get you out of this mess, okay? The day before the assassination of Kobe Bryant, LeBron passed.
Notice he said the assassination of Kobe Bryant. Keep that in mind.
Kobe Bryant.
I remember that.
For, I believe, third place on the all Bryant.
I remember that.
That can get you out of this mess, okay? The day before the assassination of Kobe Bryant, LeBron passed Kobe Bryant.
I remember that.
For, I believe, third place on the all-time, third or fourth place, the third place on the all-time scoring list, okay?
In Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia. Home of the Boule Secret Society, home of the Prince Masonic Order, and home of the AME Church.
PushGapRadio.com. Bridging the gap between old school and new school radio. PushGapRadio.com. It's Dallas, baby.